Hello, kindergarten writers. I'm coming from a different spot in my classroom today, so forgive me if I'm still kind of figuring out how to do this here. I'm excited today. We're going to practice our writing. So we're going to practice writing a sentence and then illustrating a picture to match that sentence. Now, remember, you need to have your writing journal and a pencil. Writing journal, pencil, you're going to open up to the very next blank page. So if you did the last lesson with me, our last one was I do not see your sock. And we also wrote our sight words, goes and says. So you should be on the very next blank page. So either you have to turn the page or maybe yours was on this side and this is your next blank page. But the very next blank page, we're not skipping pages. We keep everything in order so we can see how our writing gets better as we grow, okay? So make sure you flip to that very next blank page and you have your pencil ready. If you need a minute to catch up or to get your writing journal out because you were just so excited to come and do this with me today, you just got started with the video, make sure you pause and then hit play when you're ready. Sorry, this is gonna cut me off here. All right, so for today, we are going to write a sentence about our field trip last week. So I'm gonna give you a sentence here that we're gonna write together, and then I'm gonna give you freedom to be the illustrator. And I expect you to be able to draw a picture that matches the text. That's the writing that we did. I expect you to be able to go back and also do nice coloring to color in that picture. I shouldn't see one color, I shouldn't see scribbles. That's not kindergarten, first grade ready coloring. We're gonna make sure that we are bumping up our writing and our illustrations because we're ready for that, friends. We can do hard things. So let's get started. The sentence that we're going to write today, it is using sight words that we already know, and also practices our sh skill. Remember, the letters SH together spell sh. So our sentence is going to be, she said we like the library. So let's count that out. She said we like the library. Good job. Guys, the reason why we have you practice counting out the words in a sentence is that you are able to break apart how many words there are. What are words? And you can tell me, oh, there's 6 words in that sentence. I can tell that, okay? So we have 6 words we have to write. We always focus on just one word at a time. That's all we have to do. If you do it one word at a time, it doesn't seem like such a big task, okay? So our first word, remember our writing goes on the bottom part of the page. And turn this a little bit because there's a little bit of a glare from my window. There we go. Okay, so the first word is she. So that was one of our heart words that we have learned. It also uses the sh skill that we've practiced. So I know that I'm going to start on the right or the left side of the page all the way over. I don't start in the middle. I'm not going to zigzag my words around. I'm going to be very, very careful to make sure that I'm staying on that line and I'm writing my sentence all the way across, okay? Some of us are still struggling with that, and I'm coming around and I'm saying, well, why did you write so big? Or why is your sentence going diagonally down the page? Take your time and make sure that each of your letters is on that line, okay? So she, I'm going to use an uppercase letter to start. Shh. There's my SH, so sh, E. I know the letter E makes its long sound here. That's our heart word, she. So we have she said. So said is one of our heart words as well. She, finger space, said. So let's count out those sounds. S-ed. Is our first sound, so finger space, I'm going to do an S. Notice I started mine, if you have the primary writing where it has the dotted line to help you write your letters, I started my S right at that dotted line, and then I go down and touch that bottom line. So I have S, is our middle sound. This is where our heart sound comes in, and it is A, I. So S, D, D. D. Good job. Please make sure your D is the correct direction. Otherwise, you've written a B and that's Seb. We're not writing Seb. Said. So With our D, you start by drawing at that dotted line, your O shape first, or a C, you come back up and connect it, then you go all the way up to the top and back down. So that is our letter D. So she said, finger space, another sight word or heart word we learned last week, we, E, we. So I know that is W, E has its long sound. Good job, friends. So she said we like, finger space. How do we spell like? L-I-K-E spells like. So L-I-K is a tall letter. E uses that. Make sure, so far you've spelled these all correctly. Make sure only that first S is an uppercase letter. Everything else should be lowercase, and they're all on the line. If your letters are already starting to go down the page, or you haven't used finger spaces, pause this video, and you're gonna go back and fix that now. Make those corrections, friends. Even the best writers in the world always go back and fix their writing, okay? So she said we like, finger space, the. We know it's T, T, H, E. Lowercase t, guys. Some of you I see always making an uppercase lowercase t here. So she said we like the library. I'm going to help you guys with this one because this is not one of the words that we have learned so far. Some of you may already know how to sound it out and spell it, and that is awesome. Okay, so I can't fit that word here. So I'm not going to just write it here or write it down the page. When we get to the end where we're reading, do you ever see that in a book where it's written down or sideways? No. They go down to the next line, all the way back to the beginning, down over here. So she said we like the library. So, let's count it out. I-br-er-y. All right. So, is our first sound. It is L. I makes its long sound here. So L, I, brr. Now that's a blend. So that's two sounds together. Brr, b-er, B-R. I know, some of us don't know that there's an R right there. It's not library, it's library. I always tell my students, it's not a fruit. It is not a library, it's a library. So L-I-B-R, airy is spelled A-R-Y. And then we're going to put a period right at the end. I was so excited to go to the library with all of you last week, and I have to say I was super impressed with y'all's behavior. You guys were engaged and did a really good job of following directions. I wish we had some more time to explore the library, but since we were such a big group, I know it was a little disappointing. But that's just all the more reason for us to share with our parents how much we love the library. We are excited to go back to that children's section so we could check out more of those books. So let's make sure we share that, especially since this is Read Across America Week this week. Let's focus back on this. I got sidetracked. Okay, so she said we like the library. So now up here, I want you guys to draw a picture of what your favorite thing was at the library. Now, I know some of us had a lot of fun when we got to play outside. We had bubbles and frisbees. Listen to me closely. I do not want to see you drawing about the outside time. I want you drawing about your favorite thing that we did inside the library. So I know I can show you an example of what I drew in my book. Take time. I drew an example. It's a little bit different. I drew some books on the shelves. I drew Miss Liz. I drew some of us. I know we were sitting at tables, but we had some of us sitting on the floor listening to her as she read a story. And then I just drew in some more details. I added a rug, a window with my favorite tree. And then when I have time, I'm going to go back and I'm going to color it nicely. If your favorite thing was when we made the puppy craft to go along with the story, then you could draw a picture sitting at the table and making the puppy craft. Or maybe you just draw a big paper bag puppy to look like what we did. I want you to draw your favorite thing that we did inside the library with Books Friends, okay? What's our favorite thing about the library? Favorite thing that you learned? I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. So once you're done drawing, good illustrators always make sure that they add color to their pictures. So please make sure you go back and you do nice coloring, my friends. I'm excited to see what you all come up with, and I will see you next time.